Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Gaming Guitarist, back with a new video, and this is going to be about gaming. Now, if you watched my last vlog video, I mentioned that November is going to be all about video games. The return of gaming to Mr. Gaming Guitarist, and I am keeping that promise. Well, this is gonna be the first episode of a brand new show I'm planning called The Gaming Corner. You know, it was a name I came up with. And what this is going to be just a show where me, or sometimes Bruce, and we will talk about video games. Anything that has to do with video games. So, and the reason why I started this was I remember how much fun I had making my 200th video. How we just had that long, big discussion about our history of video games. I just want to continue on doing a show, something similar to that format, whether it's with just me or with someone else. So, alright, so welcome to episode 1 of the Gaming Corner. What I'm going to do today is we're going to talk about 2 big releases that came out this month and at the end of October. And those 2 games are, of course, Assassin's Creed 3 and Halo 4. First, let's talk about Assassin's Creed 3. Now, the one thing you need to know about me and Assassin's Creed is the first AC game was my very first Xbox 360 game. And and that game just left a huge impact on me. Now, I know that later on in the, now it's known as being a bit repetitive and frustrating, but back then when I first got it 5 years ago in 2007, that game blew me away, and that game welcomed me to this new generation. Then new generation of consoles, because back then, well, all I had really was the PS2 and the GameCube. I had the Wii, but the thing is, as innovative and as great as that new motion control technology was for the Wii, there was just something lacking. All the new games that were coming out were not on the Wii, they were only on the 360 and the PS3, and for Christmas of 2007, I got a Xbox 360. So after that, I got Assassin's Creed 2, and that one just improved everything about on the first one. Nearly all the flaws that were wrong with the first one were just completely eliminated, because now you had actual characters you cared about. The main character, Ezio, was not an asshole like Altair was, and I loved the setting, the characters, the story about it. It was just great. It was a great game. And Brotherhood came out, and that was pretty cool too. But the thing is, I was not expecting the next Assassin's Creed game to come out so soon, just 1 year after the second one came out, so it was surprising. And then I was also a bit surprised, but I knew it wasn't the end of Ezio's story when Revelations came out. Now, I liked Brotherhood, but to be honest, I never finished it. Don't ask me why, I just never got around to finishing it. But I not hated, but by the time the whole recruiting assassins thing, I wasn't really the biggest fan of that game. So I just didn't like it that much. So then when Revelations came out, it was okay for the first part, but this whole formula, method, gameplay mechanic, whatever you want to call it, the whole feel, or like the continuation of Ezio's story, it just started to feel a bit old and boring, and I just needed something new. So I didn't know what to think after that, after Revelations. I mean, it was a great story, but the gameplay, and it just felt a bit old. Of course, this is all my opinion. So then, when I saw the first teaser trailer for Assassin's Creed 3, when I first heard that this is taking place, that was taking place during the American Revolution, holy shit, that got me excited. And then we saw the first teaser trailer. That was badass. Then we got to see gameplay and seeing how different it is, and the whole character of Connor is half Native American, half British. Seeing how that whole ties into everything, that is just amazing. I really was really impressed with the whole setup. And then the wait, I just could not wait to get my hands on this game. And so I finally bought it, and it's also the first time I bought an Assassin's Creed game since the first one. So I never bought two Brotherhood Revelations. I just rented those from GameFly. But this one, it was just so epic, I just had to buy it. So I did, and I do not regret anything at all. To say that this is one of the best games I've ever played is an understatement. Just everything about this game just blew me away. The presentation and just how it starts out, which I will not spoil. It's just amazing, and I loved the new gameplay, all the side missions you get to do, and just how much more engaging the story missions are. But however, I will say there were some things about it that were frustrating. I hated how not hated, but like the optional objectives, they're right there in your face, and they can be really frustrating to get them. Like, for example, there was this one where you had to like do a coroner assassination 3 times, and if you got detected once, you had to start all over again, and I just kept getting more and more pissed off. Not because it's a bad game, of course, because I was the problem, and it just really made you want to. Let me see, it's on the phone. Don't know them. Anyway, so it made me really want to get that full synchronization, and it's really fun, and adds up to the challenge too. And another thing that's really cool is the naval missions. Now, when I first saw it, I thought it looked pretty cool, but once you actually get your hands and you get to control the ship, and you get to control the sails and the steering and the weapons and the cannon, that thing is fun. More fun than, I don't have an analogy for it. And yeah, I mean, and I also liked how they changed up the controls, how you don't have to do as much for the free running, and it just made things much simpler, much more fluid, much more enjoyable, and the combat is so much better. Now, some people will argue that they still have the same tactics where it's just one person attacks you at a time instead of multiple people, like say in Batman, Arkham Asylum, or Arkham City. But the thing that I like about this, it's just so much more brutal and so much more satisfying. All the countering and the finishing moves, it's just badass. And this new assassin we play as, he is just awesome. To say that Connor is a badass is quite an understatement. I mean, the thing is, Altair, his motivations were, well, as an assassin, this was his job. Ezio did it out of revenge, and Connor is doing this out of justice. And this whole storyline is just amazing through what I've played with it so far. And I also love how you get to see and interact with the classic American heroes like George Washington, or G-Wash, as I like to call him, and Benjamin Franklin, and Samuel Adams, and all these people who am I forgetting, but it's just awesome, and you get to witness all these events throughout the history during the Revolution, Battle of Bunker Hill, Boston Massacre, Lexington and Concord. It's all there, and I am loving every second of it, and I highly recommend that you go out there and buy this game. Now, when I did my Resident Evil 6 impressions video, I mentioned that I have this new system. Buy it, rent it, or fuck it. This Assassin's Creed 3 game. Even if you've never played one before, just jump into it. It has a story explaining it. Now, of course, it's not all in detailed as like if you played all the other games before, which I have, but it'll get you to where you'll understand what's happening so far. And I can't say enough great things about this game. Just buy it. It is worth the money. I've been playing it for hours every day, and I'm still not even past how I'm not even done with the campaign. And once you look at the side missions and everything else, and the whole world you get to explore, and the hunting and everything, just, oh, I can't wait for that. Oh God, it's so good. Yeah, buy it. Just go get off your ass and buy that game. So worth the $60. Alright, so that's enough about Assassin's Creed 3. Let's move on to Halo 4. Now, a thing with me is I played the first Halo game on the PC, and I really enjoyed it. Had a great impression of me. I played it on my old 2003 Dell Dimension 8400 desktop, and at that time I've never really played a first-person shooter before. Believe it or not, the only first-person shooter I played before that was the 007 Nightfire, and I really liked it. Now at the time I was young, I was dumb, still am, but I just didn't really get how it all worked because I was too young to understand it. But I liked playing it, and then Halo 2 came out, and I was able to play it. And the thing that you need to know at the time is I only had a GameCube for the consoles, and then I got the PS2 in Christmas of 2004. So I never had an Xbox. So I never played Halo. I played Halo 2, but I never got to do a full playthrough of it. But from what I have played from it, I enjoyed it. And then I remember the excitement for Halo 3. The hype for that game was just, whoa! And that was one of the games that made me want to get a 360. Now, the thing with me is I'm not a competitive person at all. I do not do the online multiplayer. Now you might be saying, that's because you suck at it. Well, I mean, I'm not that bad of it. I'm really not that good at it, but I'd rather be immersed in a single player story than just go online and just play. But I do like online co-op. That is one thing that I do like. And I just had a really great time playing Halo 3. Now, I eventually got it later on when I first got my Xbox, and I enjoyed it. And then ODST came out, and I hated that game. It was just boring. I was not invested in the story at all. I know. That's because you're only saying that because Master Chief isn't in it. No, I will play it as a game itself, and I liked it. I didn't like it, but it just never got into it. And because of my bad experience with ODST, I just never played Halo Reach. So, and then I heard that Bungie wasn't making Halo 4, so I had no idea how to feel about it. And I was like, this could go either way. I don't know what to do, how to feel about it. But then I heard that 343 was mainly made up of ex-Bungie employees, so I really liked, and I started to feel more comfortable with it. But still, I saw the teaser trailer. I mean, I knew what was happening, but I just didn't feel all that hyped up, all that pumped up. I just didn't feel the excitement factor I did with all the others, you know? With the main three, that is. But then I saw the gameplay at E3, and it was pretty interesting to see how different it was, and I slowly got to get more intrigued by it, but I never just paid attention, and I just never got that huge hype excitement factor that I did with Assassin's Creed 3. It was like, the more and more I saw of AC3, I was like, oh my god, I'm killing myself, and I just didn't get, I wasn't getting that feeling with Halo 4. And, I don't know. And I know that old age saying where, you know, don't mess with don't never judge a book by cover. Just wait till you get your hands on it and then judge the game for yourself before just basing it on your excitement factor. I know that, but that's just one thing that happens to me whenever I get really invested in the game. It's like the anticipation for it, and I just wasn't feeling any anticipation or excitement for Halo 4 at all. And then, well, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, so I just rented it from GameFly, and this is still, I only just played it last night, but to say that I underestimated Halo 4 is an understatement. I mean, the second I got back in the campaign, I got way hooked back into it. That first opening scene where the graphics just blew me away. And I was like, graphics aren't ever... I know that I am not a graphics whore. So, by any means, but still, it is quite impressive. I mean, this game looks even better than the new PS3 games coming out, and that's saying quite a lot. And I really enjoyed it. What I'm playing through so far, and just seeing like Master Chief and Cortana interact again. And oh, by the way, you want to know what's funny? It's funny how Cortana just keeps getting hotter and hotter in each game, and yet her hologram looks like it's wearing more revealing and less clothes. And it's funny that she's artificial, she's not real, and yet they're like increasing her sex appeal a lot. So when I was kind of, well, I was like, oh, what did they do to her? You know, they improved her. Anyway, and I just find it funny how, like, there's all this tension, all this between Master Chief and Cortana, and you know that there is some tension, and as much as they do want to, they can't, because she is artificial intelligence, and Master Chief has no face. And is a heartless killing machine. Don't attack me for saying that. I know Master Chief has a face. I know it's a helmet. That's just a joke. And I can only imagine the traumatizing fan fiction between those two. But I do like that it's a personal story between Chief and Cortana, and how she keeps going crazier and crazier and crazier. And it's going to be interesting. I've only played up to like the second mission, and the second I just started getting my hands on it all over again, just the whole scene, it all brought back all those great memories of the first Halo game, and seeing the two of them speaking with each other again. I mean, there is no greater feeling in the world than the feeling of nostalgia. I mean, it's what I live for, nostalgia. And you can obviously tell based on everything about me. But yeah, so far I've really enjoyed Halo 4 and the whole presentation of it. I'm really engaged in the story, and I just can't wait to see what happens next. And the way how I see it is based on my rating scale system. If you if you are a die-hard Halo fan, obviously you're going to want to buy it. Now, if you just like games in general, if you are like action, like shooters, go ahead and pick this up. Pick up Halo 4. And I must say, though, 343 did a really good job. Now, when the storytelling aspect, they greatly improved that. Now, the gameplay aspect is still relatively the same, but that's not a bad thing. And so maybe this shows that they're trying to play on the safe side a bit, not wanting to experiment a bit too much in terms of the gameplay, but maybe that means when Halo 5 comes out, they can improve the game, make some changes to the gameplay, make it better. I don't know. That'll be exciting to see. So and it's really got me hooked, and I can't wait to see what happens. And yeah, I really like it. So just rent it if you're really not a hardcore Halo fan and you just want a great shooter, great action game, great story, great characters. So, and the multiplayer, we all know it's great. I'm not into it, but I don't hate it. You know, I'm not attacking it. So that's it for this episode of the Gaming Corner. I'll see you next week when me and Bruce will be here next time, and we will talk about the Wii U. So that will be exciting. So that's really all I've got for this episode, and yeah, I will see you guys next week. Alright, bye.